Hello and welcome to Creative Stampin' Designs. My name is Karen. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Central New Jersey, and we are going to make a card today. Excuse me, sorry. Just going to give a minute for anybody to hop on. All right. I just have a couple little announcements before I get started. Oops, that's a wrong one. Right. We're at the end of June. Hi, Amy. Thanks for joining. Hi, Carol. Um, we are at the end of June. We only have 2 days left of the designer series paper sale, the 15% off for there's 13 different packs of paper on sale. Hi Jamie, thanks for joining. And it's paper you might want to grab before the sale is over. It's a great time to stock up. You got 2 more days left. Everything ends on Friday. The other thing is the joining special, which is really great right now. You get $155 worth of product of your choice for only $99. Everything ships for free, and you get to be a part of the Stampin' Up! Group. Um, Once you join, you get at least a 20% discount on any future orders. And there's never an obligation to sell. You can join just to enjoy the discount for yourself. All right. And the last thing is the online exclusives will be available starting next week. There's new ones. You can go on the online store anytime um, and click on the, oh my goodness, the shop. And then there's a spot where it says online exclusives. These items are not in the catalog, so you can only get them if you go online to the online store. And on, I believe it is Thursday next week, there's going to be some new items added. Um, this is a couple of them here. I'm using the one today, the horse and sleigh bundle, and I'm going to show you the paper. We were able to pre-order some of them. There's also the timeless charm bundle, which I have used. But I have seen some sneak peeks. There's something coming there's a pickup truck, I think. But everything will be on the online store starting on July 6th, all the new stuff. So before I get started, this is the bundle that I'm using, the horse and sleigh. But I'm going to show you the designer series paper real quick. It's really pretty. And the paper can make a card all by itself. So I have a piece of each one. And so the front sides are designs, and then the back side's just kind of like a background paper. But the one side, I mean, they just make such pretty cards by themselves. A little fox, and looks like he's in the middle of a snowstorm. And then wood grain. I love wood grain paper. They need to make another pack of it. This was one of the patterns I was thinking of using today, but I got voted out of that one. I usually ask my family for help with picking, or at least my daughter picking paper. And then that's the other side, kind of like a tweedy type paper. This one. And then just, again, the back is just plain. This one here with the deer. Got the mossy meadow on the back of that one. Another, like the white wood grain. And this one here is kind of like looking down. I like this paper, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I haven't figured that one out. And then just the blue stripes. I think this is I have the paper here. Hold on. I think it's Misty Moonlight on the back. It's either Misty Moonlight or, no, it's not Boho Blue. No, it's got to be Misty Moonlight. And this one here, this will make a real pretty carving. You can even use these in a scrapbook page, just like on one side. And this one here, kind of like with a sunset. but they're all wintry papers. And then again, the back sides are fairly neutral. This one just has trees, and then this one here. So it's a great, great set of paper. I actually already think I got 2 packs of it already somehow. I think we were able to order 2, but I got 2 packs of the paper because I see myself using it a lot. Okay, I'm going to get started. Some of the stuff is cut already. Hang on a minute. I gotta get my card base. I had it on the side, everything on the side. I was gonna glue some things ahead of time and time got away from me. So I'm gonna have to glue it all live. Okay, so I am starting with a card base that is, and I have it all written down, and it's 8 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I scored it. It is scored at 1 3/8, 2 3/4, 5 1/2, and then 6 7/8. So I am going to first fold these in. So I'm folding a valley fold, I guess you could say, on the 2 3/4, but on the 1 3/8, it's going to be the mountain. And I'm doing the same on the other side. Okay. So it's going to be a bridge card when I'm done. We're going to get, oops, I'm going to pull out my, I'm just using liquid glue because last thing I want is mess today, that I'm adhering things unevenly. Okay, so I do have the panels all cut, and one of the colors in the paper, it's actually in the panel I'm using, I believe, is Petal Pink. So I went with the matte of Petal Pink, and my card base is Misty Moonlight, and I will have all the measurements and directions, everything on, and a link to the video on my blog on Friday at creativestampindesigns.com. And I'm going to be full of glue by the end of this, I think. And I'm going to try, I was able to read a couple of the comments when you were hopping on, because they did pop up on my phone, so I was able to see them. And then they went away. Comments went away, and they're across the table from me, and kind of thought my daughter would come back down and she could read for me today. I'm hoping this weekend to be moving into a new craft area, and I'm hoping to get the setup a little better so my computer will be right next to me so I can read better. All right, and then we're going to just adhere these right on this, like so. I was getting a little nervous because they said we're supposed to get more thunderstorms, and they were supposed to start right at 4 o'clock. But as of now, the sun is out. We've been having a lot of thunderstorms here, and they come rolling in so fast. And yep, this one, I believe. I was trying to keep the paper the way I took it out, or before I cut it, I should say. All right, so these panels, the DSP, I believe, is 1 1 1/8 by 4 inches, I believe it is. Again, the measurements will be on my blog. I cut everything up last night, so And then I do have a panel on the inside. I've made this card before where I would do the stamping inside with a sentiment, and I decided I like this paper so much, I just wanted the whole card front to be the scene. I do have a sentiment that I'm going to put on. I just have to, only thing I didn't plan ahead for was where I'm putting the sentiment. So we're going to do that while I'm making the card. So this one is going to go right like that. And this is why I use liquid glue, because it wiggles that little bit. Okay. This is how the card will be. Now, I do have another panel. This was the bottom of the panel. I don't remember where it went exactly, but this was the bottom. So I'm adhering that. This is the bridge part. And yes, I am making a Christmas card. I was going to wait till next month so I could do Christmas in July, but I wanted to use this set. And I figured since it's going to be available starting next week, today would be a good time to use it. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to adhere. This is going to go across like this. So this is going to get adhered right onto here. So then when it goes in an envelope, it goes in like this. So you have a 4¼ by 5½ inch card to go in. So I'm not going to adhere it yet though until I get the other parts. I did stamp and cut the horse and sleigh. I cut out one tree, and I did cut out the bottom, which I am going to glue on, and this part I wanted to have done ahead of time because this is going to be gluey. Let's see if I can find my tweezers. I'm going to use these, and I'm going to adhere this before I color the sleigh in. Yep. And this is just one of the die cuts. I'm going to show you the dies. I believe there's die cuts for these two trees. Let me get them out real quick. So we have the two trees, and then this, I did cut this one. This is for the bunny, the horse and sleigh. These are just like snow drifts, and I guess, I'm not sure what to call this. But these are the dies that come with it. And I cannot for the life of me think of what to call that piece. I guess like a snow, if the snow is blowing. And I just got my silicone sheet out because I want to try not to get glue on my paper, because then the card sticks to it. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Now I'll close that on the side for now. All right, we're going to just throw a little bit of color on this. And I do have a bunch of Stampin' blends. I wasn't 100% what color I was coloring things. Those who have watched me before know that I decide as I'm making my cards what color I'm going to color them. Looks like I'm opening this end because I couldn't get the other end open. I don't know if any of you have that problem. I just have a lot of trouble getting some of these blends open sometimes. Oops. So I'm using crumb cake now. I'm just going to make the horse in crumb cake because I thought that was a good horse color. And I did cut the whatever this part is called. That's cut from a panel of wild wheat and cannot. I need to look these things up before I go live because certain things I just cannot remember, don't know what it's called. I know what it does, and I'm using the brush tip, well, mainly because that's the tip that opened. Um, but I'm barely touching the paper. I'm not pressing. I mean, you do not have to with the brush tip. Oh my goodness, my finger keeps sticking to something. Okay, I'm just going to go over with the light crumb cake. The only place that's getting blended is like the bottom where the hoofs are. See, I know what a hoof is on a horse. Just don't know what the rest of it's called. Little color here. And I do like to put a little bit of shading where they shade it. So I'll put a little bit of the darker crumb cake and then go over it just to kind of blend it in with the light crumb cake. Kind of throw color on because I'm not very good at coloring. And I just kind of put the color where I think it's going to go, where it'll look good. I was going over something up here. There we go. Okay. It's good for that. And then I took out, to give it a wooden look, I took out the pecan pie. Oops. Yep, that's the right one. A dark pecan pie to put up here. Move that out of my way so I'll get an ink on it. Really, I like the pecan pie. It just, I don't know, to me, it's a nice rich brown, but not too dark. I'm just going to make this part a little darker. And we'll use the light below. I tend to use the bullet tips more often. Um, I use the brush tip when I have like doing the tail because it's thinner spots that I can get into. I tend to use the bullet tip more often because then it's okay if I press a little bit harder. But again, I try not to press too hard. And let's see, we're going to do, whoops, got some Santa hats. At least I'm going to guess that's what they both have on, are little Santa hats. So we're going to color them with red, the real red. And I just realized what I forgot to get out my, sure. Just need a skin tone. This was the quickest one to grab. Forgot about their faces. So I just grabbed ivory for that. And we are going to put this one. I have boho blue. Guessing that's a blanket on them. Kind of hard to tell. And I'm gonna color the hands because I'm gonna just assume he's got gloves on. I do, and I have what I get. I pulled out Lost Lagoon. Trying to see what this looks like. A blanket. Well, the blanket's going to be colored in Lost Lagoon. That's what it looks like to me. That looks like I'm having trouble figuring out what this is. To me, this kind of looks like one of those, the muffs you put your hands in. And I know it's called a muff, so. And I'm going to leave that white. I'm really not sure here. I know this is going to be blue here. This looks, I think this is pants. So I'm going to assume this is all part of the blanket. So I know if I was out in the cold, I'd need a blanket on. Whoops. Okay, that's enough color on that for me. Now, this I am going to attach on here with dimensionals. I'm not going to put it on yet, but I'm going to get it. And I know I have my dimensionals here. I got to just see how. So I'm going to put them just like along this line. So it's down a little bit, but I don't want to put it all the way down because I want it to be poking up a little. And I have not even looked up. I see there's all these comments. I am so sorry. I have not even looked up to see who's on or anything. And you know what? I'm putting one more because I can. I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'm going to let the bottom go. If I need something, I can always kind of sneak it up. All right, so I'm going to put this on here. And you know what? I think I'm going to use tear and tape to adhere that. And of course, I did not get my tear and tape out. I'm going to adhere this part with tear and tape because I just feel a little bit more confident doing that. And it's going to get adhered to this piece and this piece. So what I'm going to do put a piece here on the end, and then I'm going to put another little piece here. And that's just going to, because moving it around, I don't want it to come off. Two more. This one here, we should be good. not want to cooperate. Go. Okay, so this was the snowdrift. I know this was the bottom of the paper. So I'm going to do this side first, but I'm not going to push real hard, only so I want to make sure. I don't want to push this side down. I should have waited. And we're going to go this way because we can fold this side over, and we'll have this piece right there. Give it a little press on the back. Okay, so there's the card, that part. Now we're going to put this here, but I do have the one tree that I wanted to just kind of put here, just as a little added extra. So I'm just going to actually going to put it down with, because this is going to go over it. I'm just going to use a glue dot. I'm not going to, the glue dot isn't going to cover the whole bottom, but that's okay because it's going to be covered by the sleigh. Just going to put it right there, and it won't, nothing will get in the way as far as with when you're folding it, because it's going to be on the outside, and this will fit in your regular envelope. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to flatten this so I can press when I put this down. Right, there we go. And make sure those dimensions, where do I put them? Down there, okay. I'm always afraid to press it right away. There we go. Now for the sentiment, which I did Misty Moonlight. I want to do it the same color as the card base. So I might have to cut this panel down because I know I grabbed a piece. I didn't even measure it. It's 1 inch by 4.5, and I know that's probably going to be too big, but I'd rather a bigger piece and have to cut it down. Okay, I'm going to give that a second to dry because it's a dark blue and it could tend to make a mess, which it can for me. And I don't believe I'm going to do this live, but this is too big. I mean, I could put it across the top because it'll go then either way. But I don't want to cover too much of that up. I am going to cut this out, and I do not fussy cut live, but that's what I'm going to do because I really don't want a huge sentiment blocking. I really like this paper. Yeah, I'm not a fussy cutter, and I'm always afraid of cutting the wrong thing. But especially this is the first time, I don't like make myself a little more nervous. First time fussy cutting live like this. But it looked like a fairly simple cut. Sorry, I have to concentrate when I'm cutting. Okay, I'm not doing any more of that. We're good with that one. Fussy cutting makes me nervous. I think I'm actually going to put it on this side. And I'm going to adhere it with glue dots because I don't want it to pop up or anything. Probably should use liquid glue. This is how I glue a lot of my things down. So I know where to put the glue. So I have the one there, I'm going to put one there, and I'll put one I'll put one right there. So I should be good. And that'll hold it. Unless somebody grabs it by the sentiment, you should be fine. And glue dots are pretty strong. They'll hold. Okay. And again, I'm just going to flatten it to put the sentiment on. Okay. And then I'm just going to add a couple, like one or two. The Adhesive Back Snowflake Assortment. This is part of this suite that will be available next week. And I am just going to put a couple of the small snowflakes. Let's see if I'm just going to scatter them because that's what snowflakes do. And I'm using the white because I figured they'll show up on the paper. I don't want it to overpower. And I'm just going to put one in here. I did not even look where I put the one on the inside. All right, so on the back, I have a small panel of white that I am going to stamp. Just get a piece of scrap paper underneath because I think I might be going over a little bit. And I have a sentiment, I have the tree. There we go. All right, and on the back, it's because the front is wishing you a season of cheer and a happy new year. Oh, goodness. So it's a photopolymer, and I usually can get photopolymer straight. Okay. I have pine tree. I'm just going to stamp with Mossy Meadow. And it's going to go off a little because you need a little bit of room to write something. And I'm not going to color anything right now because when I'm using anything other than Memento, I like it to really dry, but I am going to just color the tree trunk in brown. So I'm going to adhere this to the petal pink mat. Then we're going to adhere this to the back. And the card will be done. It's a fairly quick card. I will have all the measurements, everything for you on my blog on Friday, creativestampindesigns.com. Everything goes live about 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time. So there'll be the measurements, a link to the video so you can make the card, um, watch and stamp along. And if you do make the card, whether it's the same one or with different paper, different designs, I do post this on my Facebook page also, which goes live around 8 o'clock. And in the comments, you can put a picture of your card. All right. And I'm going to finish this when we're done because I've already gone over. I did already stamp the tree, and I stamped the rabbit on the front. And I just have a piece of the DSP I'm going to put on the envelope flap. But otherwise, I like to try to stick to a half hour, and I've gone over a little bit. Thank you very much for joining today. I really appreciate it. And I'm sorry I did not answer or read all the comments. I'm going to have to go back right away and read them all. I am going to plan on being live next Wednesday, same time at 4 o'clock, providing if I do move into my new craft area, I can get everything set up. I will post something on my blog. I'll post something on Facebook page that I am going to go live, or if I have to cancel for the week. But otherwise, I'm going to plan on being back next Wednesday. Thanks for joining. I hope you all have a wonderful 4th of July. Hopefully you'll have nice weather, have picnics, and just have a good time. Thanks, everyone, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.